What if your credit score could predict your likelihood of depression better than your family history? Sounds crazy, right? But researchers at Northwestern University found that people with lower credit scores are significantly more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. And here's the kicker. It's not just because poor finances cause stress. The study revealed that financial behavior and mental health are so intertwined that improving one automatically improves the other. You're about to discover something that could save you thousands in therapy bills while building your wealth. When you treat your money management as mental health care, something remarkable happens. According to a 2024 study published in the Journal of Financial Therapy, people who integrated psychological principles into their financial planning saw a 47% reduction in money-related anxiety and increased their savings rate by 32% within just 6 months. Here's what might blow your mind. Harvard Medical School research shows that financial stress triggers the same brain responses as physical pain. Literally, your brain processes a declined credit card the same way it processes a broken bone. But here's the breakthrough. When you use specific psychology-based money strategies, you can actually rewire these stress responses and turn financial management into a form of therapy. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you won't miss the life-changing strategies we share in our future videos. Because today, we're breaking down 5 scientifically proven ways to merge money management with mental health that could completely transform both your bank account and your peace of mind. Tip number 1, transform financial anxiety into financial clarity. The first step isn't about creating a budget. It's about understanding why money makes people feel the way they do. This psychological foundation is crucial, and there's a simple technique that can eliminate 90% of money-related stress in just 10 minutes. Here's the truth backed by neuroscience research. Financial anxiety isn't really about money. It's about control, security, and self-worth. When someone checks their bank account and feels that knot in their stomach, their brain is actually responding to deeper fears about survival and success. UCLA brain imaging studies show that financial stress activates the amygdala, your brain's alarm system, the same way physical threats do. But here's the game changer. This response can be rewired. Start with what experts call the financial feelings audit. Every time you feel stressed about money, write down 3 things: what triggered the feeling, what you're actually afraid will happen, and one small action you can take right now. For example, if seeing a large bill triggers anxiety, you might be afraid of not having enough for emergencies, and your action could be researching payment plan options. But here's what research from Stanford's psychology department proves. Your brain literally cannot process fear and problem solving at the same time. When you're in anxiety mode, you make terrible financial decisions. But when you acknowledge the feeling and immediately shift to action, you're training your brain to associate money challenges with solutions instead of panic. Also, and this is crucial, stop checking accounts when you're already stressed or late at night. The brain is more likely to catastrophize when tired or emotional. Pick specific times, like after morning coffee, when you're in a clear headspace to review finances. Tip number 2, use the psychology of automation to build wealth. Now that we've addressed the emotional side, let's talk about something revolutionary: making your money work for your mental health instead of against it. The secret isn't willpower, it's removing the decision-making burden entirely. Your brain makes about 35,000 decisions every day, and by evening, you're experiencing what psychologists call decision fatigue. This is exactly why a 2023 study in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that people make 40% more impulse purchases after 6 p.m. You might stick to your budget all day, but then overspend on dinner or impulse purchases. But when you automate your finances, you're not just managing money, you're preserving your mental energy for the decisions that actually matter. Here's how to set up what financial therapists call stress-free automation. First, automate your essentials. Set up automatic transfers for rent, utilities, and minimum debt payments right after payday. This eliminates the mental load of remembering bills and the anxiety of late fees. Second, automate your future self. Set up automatic transfers to both savings and investments. Even if it's just $25 per week, You're training your brain to see saving as effortless rather than painful. The psychological benefit: you start seeing yourself as someone who saves naturally. Third, automate your fun money. This might sound backwards, but giving yourself a specific amount for guilt-free spending actually reduces overspending. When you know you have $100 set aside for entertainment, you can enjoy that money without the underlying stress of wondering if you should be spending it. But here's the real psychological magic. Automation creates what behavioral economists call mental accounting. Your brain starts treating different pots of money differently, which naturally reduces financial stress and improves decision-making. Tip number 3. Turn debt into a mental health victory plan. This is where things get really interesting. Most people approach debt like it's a financial problem, but it's actually a psychological challenge disguised as a math problem. There's a debt strategy that not only pays off balances faster, but actually improves mental health along the way. Traditional advice tells you to pay off highest interest debt first, and mathematically, that's correct. But psychologically, research from the MIT Sloan School of Management found that people using the debt avalanche method, paying highest interest first, were 23% more likely to give up on debt repayment compared to those using psychological-based approaches. It often leads to burnout and giving up. Instead, try what behavioral economists call the mental health debt method. Start by listing all your debts, but instead of organizing by interest rate, organize them by emotional weight. Which debt keeps you up at night? Which one makes you feel the most shame or stress? That's your first target, regardless of the interest rate. Why? Because eliminating the debt that causes the most psychological pain gives you an immediate mental health boost that motivates you to tackle the rest. Here's the strategy. Put minimum payments on everything, then throw every extra dollar at your highest stress debt. When that's gone, celebrate it properly. This means a meaningful reward that acknowledges the achievement. Your brain needs to associate debt payoff with positive feelings, not just relief. But here's what most debt advice misses. Create a debt visualization board. Write down not just the amounts you owe, but how you'll feel when each debt is gone. When this credit card is paid off, I'll stop avoiding the mailbox. Or, when this loan is gone, I'll sleep better at night. This connects the financial goal to the emotional payoff, which is incredibly motivating. Also, and this is important, don't hide debt progress. Share it with someone you trust. The shame that keeps debt secret also keeps people stuck. Accountability plus emotional support accelerates both debt payoff and mental health improvement. Tip number 4, build an emergency fund that actually reduces anxiety. Now let's talk about the most overlooked aspect of emergency funds. They're not just financial tools, they're anxiety management systems. Most people approach emergency savings all wrong, which is why 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency even when they have some savings. Here's the breakthrough insight backed by research from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. The psychological benefit of an emergency fund kicks in much sooner than the financial benefit. Their study found that even having $200 to $400 saved can dramatically reduce financial anxiety because your brain stops operating in constant scarcity mode. Start with what experts call micro milestones. Instead of focusing on the overwhelming goal of 3 to 6 months of expenses, celebrate every $100 you save. At $100, you can handle most small emergencies. At $500, you can cover many car repairs. At $1,000, you've got major unexpected expenses covered. Each milestone provides a genuine psychological boost. But here's the key. Keep your emergency fund in a separate account that you can see but not easily access. This creates what psychologists call mental distance. You know the money exists, which reduces anxiety, but you can't spend it impulsively, which protects the fund. Also, name your emergency fund something specific and positive. Instead of emergency fund, try peace of mind account or security fund. Your brain responds differently to positive language, and you're more likely to contribute to an account that represents something good rather than something fearful. Here's a strategy that works incredibly well. Automate a small amount weekly rather than monthly. $12 per week feels much more manageable than $50 per month, even though it's roughly the same amount. Plus, weekly contributions create more frequent positive reinforcement. Tip number 5. create wealth-building habits that support mental wellness. This is where everything comes together, and we're going to show you how to build wealth in a way that actually improves your mental health instead of adding stress. The secret is aligning your money habits with your brain's natural reward systems. Most people think wealth building requires sacrifice and stress, but that approach leads to burnout and financial self-sabotage. Instead, focus on what therapists call wellness wealth integration, strategies that make you feel better while building financial security. Start by connecting every financial goal to a specific mental health benefit. Want to invest $100 monthly? Frame it as investing in future peace of mind rather than just building wealth. Want to increase your income? Focus on creating more choices and freedom rather than just making more money. This psychological reframing makes wealth building feel like self-care instead of self-denial. Here's a powerful technique. Create a financial wellness ritual. Every Sunday, spend 20 minutes reviewing your finances, but make it pleasant. Good music, your favorite drink, maybe some candles. This transforms money management from a stressful chore into a calming, empowering ritual. Also, track your progress in multiple ways. Yes, track your net worth, but also track how you feel about money. Rate your financial stress on a scale of 1 to 10 each month. As your wealth grows, this stress score should decrease. If it's not, you need to adjust your approach because sustainable wealth building should reduce anxiety, not increase it. But here's the real game changer. Use your money to support your mental health directly. Budget for therapy, massage, gym memberships, or whatever genuinely improves your well-being. When you see these as investments rather than expenses, you're creating a positive feedback loop where better mental health leads to better financial decisions, which leads to more resources for mental health. Finally, remember that setbacks are part of the process. If you overspend 1 month or miss a savings goal, practice self-compassion instead of self-criticism. Shame and guilt lead to more poor financial decisions, while self-forgiveness leads to quicker recovery and better long-term results. The truth is, your mental health and your wealth aren't separate goals. They're two sides of the same coin. When you stop treating them as competing priorities and start seeing them as mutually supportive, everything changes. You make better money decisions because you're in a better headspace. You feel less stressed because your finances are organized. And you build wealth faster because you're working with your psychology instead of against it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more strategies that transform both your finances and your well-being. Hit that bell icon to make sure you don't miss our future videos, where we'll dive even deeper into the psychology of money and practical mental health strategies. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, taking care of your mental health isn't just good for your mind, it's one of the smartest financial investments you can make. See you in the next video.